This is Sam from Uniondale, and you're tuning into another edition of the Sam I Analyze Show. 1 down, 3 to go. Let's analyze. The Knicks had us all stressed out in the second half, if you're a Knicks fan. Yes, they did. Jalen Brunson in foul trouble. Karl-Anthony Towns in foul trouble. Deuce McBrizzle in foul trouble. And I'm like, whoo, here we go. Here we go. Break out the mops, possibly, because it's not looking good. And Thomas's hand was forced. Thomas's hand was forced. Tom Thibodeau had no choice but to go to the bench. Folks, you know what? Tom. Yeah, right. That's about it. Tom Thibodeau finally played his bench. And if you have followed me, social media, as long as Tom Thibodeau has been the coach here, I have said this man is stubborn and refuses to make adjustments. Now, he makes adjustments, I guess, when his, after watching the tape and then reviewing, whatever. Tom Thibodeau, he's got the credentials and everything, right? You know, he's a winner, blah, blah, blah. He's never made it to the finals, though, as a head coach. With the Celtics, he did, though, and he won a ring with Doc Rivers as the defensive coordinator. But he has left a lot to be desired. And I get it. Oh, the Knicks won game one. What are you bashing Tom Thibodeau? That's not what I'm doing here. I am setting the stage, though, because the Knicks won one game. The Mitchell Robinson, Karl-Anthony Towns starting lineup did not really work out the way we would have wanted to. And that made me wonder, is he going to go back to it? I would hope so, because it helps to guard the pick and roll better. But Rick Carlisle, a.k.a. Jim Carrey himself, I mean, they look alike, it's crazy. But Rick Carlisle, he made a statement, and he's made statements going into this series that made me really, really pay attention, right? He spoke about Mitchell Robinson. He spoke about Precious Achiuwa, right? And then tonight after the game, he made a very curious comment. I don't know if y'all caught that, but he made reference to the fact that when the Knicks made their comeback down 20, he said they played their better defenders. And I'm like, is Rick Carlisle sitting there like, yeah, he's a fool. He's not going to play. He's going to stick to 7 or 8 man rotation. So we're just going to run them out the gym. I mean, he may not say it, but that's what I'm gathering here, folks. He made reference to Mitchell Robinson. He's made reference to Precious Achiuwa, who's not on the floor at all. And I've said, and I've never understood it. This goes back to the Pat Riley days when you're watching John Starks in Game 7. Shout out to John Starks, the first person that I first interviewed back in the day. And I never bashed John Starks for Game 7 because I knew what he meant for that series, and I know he was just off. I blamed Pat Riley for it because you had a Hubert Davis on the bench, did not play him. He comes into the game, and I mean, we're not talking about 94 right now, but he came into the game, hit 2 3-pointers. You had Ronaldo Blackman on the bench. I had to think. I'm like, am I saying Ronaldo Blackman? No, but you had him on the bench. You didn't go. You didn't try. And I have a problem. I told you, I can't stand when coaches are like, well, this is what we do. Why? So I almost titled my thumbnail Knicks in 6 because shout out to y'all. Knicks fans were out there in Indiana. Out there in Indiana. Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. I heard, yeah, right behind Charles and them. And they brought up a valid point. They said, and that's when I had to change my station, as Mike Tyson would say, in the Russ Salzberg interview back in the day, Channel 9. You don't like it, then change your station. I can't change my station because Tom Thibodeau is our coach, and I got to ride with him. I got to rock with him. But the Knicks, their hand was forced by accident, right? Deuce McBride, 3 fouls, and then Brunson with the 5 fouls and 4 fouls. And I was losing it when I saw that Tom Thibodeau left Karl-Anthony Towns in the game to get his 4th foul, or was it no, it was Brunson got his 4th foul, and then he kept catting the game. And I'm like, what are you doing? Put Precious in the game. Nah, he would never try a Huck Bordy. He would never try that. He would never try, excuse me. He would never, you know what? He would never try a Huck Bordy. He would never do it. And he would never do it. Because why would he do that? Because he's Tom Thibodeau. Folks, the Knicks played 9 guys and really played 9 guys, right? You had Deuce McBrizzle played 15 minutes, obviously because he was in foul trouble. He was a +7, 9 points, and it almost seemed like he played longer, but you know he was in foul trouble. Josh Hart 34 minutes, and he was a +5, and then DeLon Wright, who showed that when Brunson went out, he's a very good defender. And Landry Shamet was a +12. The guy that I've been pleading with Tibbs, play him. I think he's a great defender, and he's a 3-point shooter. Why do you have to go to a 7.5-man rotation? Because that's what it is. All right. He didn't play campaign. It's not a campaign series right now. When he was throwing up UFOs in that last game, campaign, have a seat. He said, have a seat next to me, buddy. Hold Jalen Brunson's Gatorade or whatever. Just have a seat. We're good. You know, you helped us win game 1 against Detroit. And then there was another game. He had a solid game, maybe in this series. I don't know. But right now, it escapes me. Folks, Tibbs, 9 players. You still got 1 more, though. You could have put Precious Achiuwa in there instead of risking Karl-Anthony Towns getting another foul in the first half. It didn't happen. And it almost did happen. There was a foul that should have been a foul. The ref was like, wow, I can't call it, but I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns got his 5th foul, y'all. And everybody saw it. And I'm like, is Tibbs really doing this? Leaving guys in there to get fouled? Like, what are you doing? So, like I said, I almost said Knicks in 6 because of Tom Thibodeau's antics. I'm reserving. You know, I'm waiting. Okay, and I feel all along I felt that the Knicks, if they've played, you know, the reason why the Knicks lost game 1 and then game 2 is because Indiana in the Indy 500. You know, they go up and down the floor and they tired. They get guys running up and down the floor and they are tired. Tibbs, you cannot play 7 or 8 and 7.5 guys that you play. I am pleading with Tom Thibodeau. Learn from game 3. And it was by accident that he had to play DeLon Wright and Shamet. I'm not giving Tibbs the credit. Show me that you learned something and do it for the remainder of the series and for the Knicks to advance against wherever. You see what OKC does. They play about 10 or 12 guys deep. You cannot win playing 7 or 8 guys. Look, beautiful stat sheet. Beautiful stat sheet. Mikal Bridges, 37 minutes. OG Anunoby, 37 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns, 33 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, 29. And Jalen Brunson, because of the foul trouble, 31 minutes. Guys are well rested. Guys are well rested. Hello? So that's what the Knicks have to do going forward. If the Knicks can do this, they would have had game 1. They came back from 20. If Tom Thibodeau is able to do this going forward, and you can't, man, listen, we almost did not have a Karl-Anthony Towns going crazy in that fourth quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns. Because I was yelling at my TV, y'all. I was yelling at the TV, and I said, you know what? That's why the Knicks are going to trade you for Giannis. Yeah. And he must have heard me. He said, what? And he went in, 20 points, and he went in. Karl-Anthony Towns, kudos to him. What was it, 24 points, 15 rebounds? They can't stop Cat. That's why my first video going into the series, previewing the series, I'm like, look, they can't stop Brunson, they can't stop Cat, but it can't be a track meet. The Knicks, listen, man, they got to do this going forward. They've got to do this going forward. And they still can go 10 deep. Precious Achiuwa, listen, if Mitchell Robinson, if Karl-Anthony Towns gets in foul trouble, you've got to be willing to go to Precious or Huck Porty. Yeah, he won't do it. He won't do it. But I just threw Airport out there. That's my nickname for him. But he's not going to do it. But Precious, man, I was so mad when I saw that Karl-Anthony Towns was on the floor. And I'm like, wow, the refs are like, you know what, Tibbs? Like, you really left this guy out there, and they swallowed the whistle. That, man, if they would have blown that whistle, it would have been a wrap. The Knicks would have never won that game if Karl-Anthony Towns didn't go crazy in that fourth quarter. So, the Knicks have the formula. It's always been there, y'all. I've been calling for this. I have been calling for this. I have. Play the bench. You still got a Precious Achiuwa. There's no reason for Cat to be getting those fouls like that. Play Precious sparingly. You know when he plays those half a few, the breathing, the sus minutes, he played but he really didn't play. That's where you put Precious in the game instead of putting Cat in a situation where he could get a fifth foul. But again, I don't think this was by design. I think this was by accident. But what say you? The Knicks won one game. We got to get this one on Tuesday before I can say, all right, we've got a series. We've got to get this game. And if you're going to do what Rick Carlisle said, you play your better defenders. You have to. You do that. Indiana does not want to play half court. They can't. That's not what they do. And you do that, you allow Karl-Anthony Towns to cook. You allow Jalen Brunson to cook. I hope that Tom Thibodeau learned something today. I really do. I don't know, man. We're going to have to see what happens on Tuesday. You saw Charles Barkley say, well, that's what happens when you play your bench. But what say you, Knicks fans? How do you feel? I mean, did we learn? Did Karl-Anthony Towns? Did Landry Shamet? Did DeLon Wright? Did they show Tom something? Let me know. Now it's that time. Team USA outlasts Switzerland and wins the ice hockey world title. First one in 92 years, 1933. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, folks. I'm on most social media platforms at SamiAnalyze. Please like, share, subscribe, and you see that notification bell to the right. Please click on that. That will let you know the next time I drop another video. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, à tout à l'heure.